During my long journey to finding out that I was autistic, I realised I needed to jump off the crooked path I'd desperately been clinging to and head off in an entirely different direction if I was ever going to heal my burnout. And to do that, I was going to need to admit one thing, that I need accommodations, or otherwise I'm just going to end up back here again before I know it. If you're new here, which you probably are, let's be real, hello and welcome to my channel where I share my life experiences as a queer, late diagnosed AuDHD woman while I play some of my favourite cozy games. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please stick around. I'm very glad to have you here. The game I'm playing right now is probably my new favourite cozy game to wind down to when everything just gets a bit much. And I can't believe I haven't played it before. This whole thing about cozy organizing games is actually a completely new thing for me. And oh my god, it's amazing. So this game is called Unpacking, which, is very spot on for what I like to talk about on this channel. So let's play Unpacking while we unpack the 30 ways I've learned to accommodate my AuDHD. I'm going to try not to over-explain these points because that is such a common thing that us autistic people do, perhaps especially if we're women or AFAB, and that is something that I'm working on. See, just right then, I over-explained myself. Okay, let's get cracking. Number one, I always wear hats whenever I'm outside to keep snow, sun, and rain out of my eyes and out of my face. I also wear shades much more now than I did before, and I will quite often wear shades and hats at the same time. Loop earplugs. I actually have 3 sets of loops. I've got the active kind, when I just need to filter out the noise around me. Another kind that blocks sound slightly better. And I also have, I think they're called the dream loops, which I use at night to keep, sounds from neighbors or my cats or my partner. Just kind of dull that down a bit. And they really, really help. Noise cancelling headphones. And oftentimes I will have the amazing combo of both at the same time. Listening to nature sounds when I'm out and about. I use an app called My Noise, and in this app you can listen to all kinds of different recordings of nature. It is free for the first week or 2 or something like that, and after that you can listen to a certain set of free sounds, or you can pay a one-time fee. And for me, that has really helped calm me down when I'm in very overstimulating situations. Colouring on my phone. I use an app called Zen Colour. As somebody with AuDHD, my brain doesn't calm down ever. And for some reason, this colouring app allows my brain to focus on something long enough to kind of quiet some of that AuDHD noise. On to my next accommodation, planning to rest. So what I mean by that is I will actively look through my calendar and I will plan days or hours depending on, what I have to work with, and I will use them for just resting. This doesn't always work because of life, but at least it's a big priority for me now. Taking breaks at work where I sit by myself, oftentimes in a dark room where I just sit and stare at nothing really, or do somatic exercises, and or sometimes I do some stretches. The point of these rests is not to talk to anyone or use my phone or do anything overstimulating because my brain needs rest. Fidget toys. Fidget toys, fidget toys, fidget toys, and taking them everywhere with me. Putting a towel down on the floor before I have a shower so that when I get out of it, my feet don't need to have contact with the tiles. On the topic of showering, taking a bath instead of showering. This one I'll explain a little bit. Showering is an extremely overstimulating and difficult thing for me to do. And this accommodation makes me be able to feel clean while minimizing sensory overload. And I don't know why baths are easier for me. They just are. So if I can't have a shower, I will have a bath. Just watching TV for however long I need to recuperate, even if that means I need to watch the TV for the whole day. TV is one of the only things, along with my colouring app that I just mentioned, that makes my brain quiet down. If people are being too loud on public transport, I will move. And it sounds silly, but before I would just sit in discomfort because I felt like it was rude to switch seats. But that just goes to show how ingrained it is in me to put other people's comfort before my own, I guess. Cutting out the tags in my clothes because they scratch me. Vocalizing my needs more. Wearing boxers and sports bras for underwear. Not going outside when I don't feel like it, even when the weather is good. This may be a very typical Swedish thing, but as soon as we've got a bit of sunshine, people will just force you to go outside. And this is something that is like drilled into you from a very early age. And I don't know how many times I've been miserable and overstimulated from being outside when it's really hot and the sun is just beating down on you. Obviously, I can't control this all the time. You know, if I have to go somewhere like to work, I will obviously go outside even though I don't want to go outside. Not making eye contact if it's hurting me or I don't want to do it. This one's difficult because I have trained myself to make eye contact and I have been doing it my whole life, and I have to kind of actively force myself not to force myself to make eye contact, if that makes sense. Wearing comfortable shoes. Wearing comfortable clothes that please my eyes when I look in the mirror. Not chastising myself about rewatching the same shows or rereading my favorite books or ordering the same thing at restaurants. That doesn't make me boring. My nervous system needs routines in order to function. Use apps to help myself remember to do tasks during the day and to remember to be patient and kind to myself. The app that I like using is called Finch. It is a great app. I've been using it for a year now. Actively trying to think, what would make my experience 10% easier right now? And then doing what I can to make that happen. This is actually one of my daily tasks on Finch. Trying my best to feel my feelings. Now, I most probably have alexithymia, which makes it harder to identify your feelings, or if I have just simply suppressed myself for so long that I have forgotten to know how to feel my feelings. I use a free app called Dailyo, which helps me track my mood during the week so I can kind of remember what I felt like. And it, might help me remember to, be kinder to myself or to rest when I need to. Not suppressing my feelings, my needs, or my comfort to please other people. Prioritizing what I need over the comfort of other people. I never took care of myself before, which is what landed me in complete burnout, which I'm still recovering from. I have a whole video talking about my burnout journey. I'll put it in a card or link it down below or something if you are interested in giving that a watch. Trying not to be such a people pleaser. Again, this is a difficult one for me and one that I have to actively work on every single day. And lastly, an accommodation that possibly is the most important accommodation out of all of these. I mean, all of these are important, but I feel like this specific accommodation kind of summarizes all the other ones, and that is the fact that I am disabled and therefore need certain accommodations to feel okay, to function physically and mentally as a human being, and to be happy, because I have a right to be happy and comfortable just as much as anybody else. Please comment down below your accommodations that you do to help yourself. I would love for the comments to become a place where we can help each other, give each other tips on ways to accommodate ourselves, because we deserve to feel comfortable in our own skin. We deserve to exist, and we deserve to not have our nervous system be in fight or flight every single day. That was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!